Amy.
Hello, how are you?
Good, how you going?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Nice, nice. How's your week been?
Yeah, busy,
Yeah.
busy. End of term one, down getting year 12 over the final line. So, yeah,
Yeah,
it's good.
yeah, that's
How
it.
about you?
What week are you in now?
Week 10.
Oh wow, yeah, amazing.
Yep.
Yeah, very good. Are you going on holidays or anything?
No, I don't think so. I think we'll
Hmm.
stay put these holidays. So,
Yeah,
probably plan to get to Thailand in the April holidays again. So,
yeah, unreal. Whereabouts do you think you go?
I don't know. We want to try and get up to, I think you're in Chiang Mai, aren't you? We
Yeah,
want to try to get to Chiang Mai, perhaps. Yeah, I don't know. We've done Koh Lak and Koh Samui a couple of times. So
yeah,
probably try and get to somewhere different next time.
yeah.
So
No, brilliant. Well, that sounds great. The Chiang Mai apparently in March, April could possibly be affected by smoky season.
that's good to know. Okay.
Yeah, they start burning in February, but then it doesn't kick in until a bit later. So
Yeah, right.
yeah, just consider that because like when I came in
Hmm.
April last year, it was very, very smoky.
Yeah, right. That's good to know.
Yeah, yeah. Hey Jack,
Hey Vaughn, how you going?
good mate, good. You had a good week or you
I've had a tiring week.
yeah, I was gonna say you're looking pretty tired there, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big things happening in your world, huh?
Yeah. A lot of assessments, quizzes, exams. Just legitimately got out of my other class like 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, it sounds like that's the case that Amy was just saying she's wrapping up at the moment with
Mm.
all her
Yeah,
things,
week 10.
week 10. So, yeah. And Novella's, she can't make it. She's just finished her internship. So,
Yeah.
yeah, she's pumped about that. But yeah, out to celebrate tonight. And the thing is, she was requesting that we do a bit of chatbot discussion today, a bit of so yeah, I'm not too sure. Are you guys, would you sort of want to venture down that rabbit hole?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah,
good. Yep.
yeah, yeah, sweet, sweet. All right, well, what we'll do is we'll just jump straight in. I just so you're aware, as I did the last week, before that, week one, week two, you'll see a guide. And that is just a summary of the previous week, what we did, and any sort of strategies that we learned. And then there's the recording for week two and week one already in there. Uh, but for week three, this is, yeah, chatbots. Can I just get a general sense? Have we experimented with them before? Have we created?
I haven't really created them, but like all throughout primary school, I guess there wasn't really much in the early 2000s that worked properly. But every now and then you get like bits of information from them, but they weren't too good.
Yeah.
So I'm still very new to this.
Yeah, cool, cool. Well, pretty much there's so many different types these days, but if we think about AI like ChatGPT, that's just one giant chatbot, and it's just how we interact these days. So they can be really, really good, or they can be really terrible, just depending on the infrastructure that's in the background that's set. So there is a full hour workshop like broke down specifics in our classroom. I'm not too sure if you've seen it, but if you were in a classroom and then you go down, you'll see the three workshops that I ran last year. But this specific one here, AI chatbot creation, that basically covers the entire workflow of what they are, how to build them. It gives you like nuts and bolts, and it's following along with a cohort that I led previous year. So if you want any more detail after we do today, feel jump in there. And if you're keen to get like the guidelines and the books and the prompts and everything that I put together with it, that is it's in this one here, AI Education Guide, and there's like a 54-page guidebook that we put together that has all like the infrastructure. So yeah, have a look at them. But yeah, let's jump into today. So chatbot, we're now getting into like full creation. And last week we said that like let's think about intent first, solution second. So when we're coming into any kind of building things, it's the same with the chatbot. We want to have our intention first of like what is this sole specific purpose for this chatbot? So for example, a ChatGPT or any other AI that we've been using is essentially designed for a specific purpose to interact in and give you all this access to this knowledge or to generate whatever we're trying to get it to generate. With a chatbot, you can have various different things. Like we've created them for tutors, we've created them for subject specific reference guiding, we've had them for compliance and policy development and strategic planning. They can be for anything. But the ones that I wanted to experiment today with, the platform specifically is called Flint, Flint.ai is the one I'll jump into. There's other ones, it's called Mizou, and you've got Poe. But the thing with Flint that I want to experiment with, but I've been doing a bit of research on, is you can set it up, you can put kids into a class to interact with this chatbot. If it's say a tutor for your subject or a historical figure and they're doing role play or they're going through design questions or whatever it might be, you can actually see their entire history of chat. So then you can pull all of that data out, then run that through an AI to analyze it, and then help you find the fundamental holes in their knowledge. And then you can get the AI to address those. That's one way I've seen it used. So that's really cool. But basically, you got to think about it like we've been coding, and you can code with this too, but we've basically been giving it context. Context is our key. So it's the same kind of thing with chatbots. Now, to get you on the right foot, because we will start just jumping into them. If you're saying, hey, I want to create a student-centered chatbot, like I want to create a tutor or I want to create something that students interact with, we just got to be really, really careful in regards to one, data and privacy. So there's the data privacy is all around like what are they putting in there and what is it collecting. So you can create chatbots in so many different platforms, but from an educational like lens, from a data protection side of things, we just got to look at the fine print and see are they using the students' responses to train their models? And Flint doesn't. Flint is designed for education, so it basically is just a white label. And if you're not too sure what a white label is, basically it's a software that's over the top of an existing software. So it's like Flint is the user experience, and then underlying that is whatever AI large language model that's based on, whether it's ChatGPT, 3.5, 4 point whatever, it sort of just layers it up. The second point when we're considering chatbots is we want to is sort of like think about putting on like guardrails when you're playing 10-pin bowling. If you put the guardrails up, we're always going to hit the strike. It's the same kind of thing. So we want to try to give the guidelines on how this chatbot's going to interact with our students and what level or age range that it's interacting. So to get you set up in the right way, what I'll do is can I attach things? Um, yeah, I will attach just so you can have it is put it in the chat. That's a chatbot behavior guidelines. So I've generated these when we started creating chatbots a few years ago, and they're very helpful to basically determine how your bot is interacting with students. And it's saying, don't let them go down off topic track. Don't let them, gaslight you and abuse you. Don't let, all those kind of things happen. So in this document, you'll see, like, for example, the first thing it says core principles, ethical and safe interactions. Chatbot must never engage in or prompt racist, discriminatory, unethical, or unsafe behavior. It should be programmed to recognize and deflect inappropriate requests. So, like that kind of thing is what's going to go into the back of the chatbot sort of operating system. So then students, if they try to go down it, it won't let them. And I think with Flint, it'll actually flag at you as the teacher to say which student is trying to go off track too often. Yeah, so that's something cool to experiment with. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell, and I'm sure we can dive in. But last week, I mean, we Jack saw my sort of thinking and Novella's thinking around multi AI use. So using one AI to do a certain thing and then going to the next AI to do a different thing and then going from multiple to get one output eventually. So, for example, using like Claude to help write the PRD, the product requirement document. So then you can take that and that prompt that it creates and then put it into Canva AI to generate the code. That's an example of like multi-AI use to get a better output. So it's the same kind of thing when we're looking at chatbot. Think about the AIs that you've got available to you. You've got your Claude Code, you've got your ChatGPT or your Perplexity or whatever things that you want to use to get the best prompts, and then you can move over to the actual chatbot creator. So just what we'll do is before we get into all of that, we'll whip around real quick and just go, what would we one thing we hope to sort of achieve by the end of today. Remember we set a small intention, a small goal. It doesn't need to be massive, just so then we can calibrate, did we achieve it or did we not, and then what's next steps. So happy to go first, but my thinking is like all over at the moment. I've got to meet with my senior executive team tomorrow, all about AI guidelines, development, committee coordination, and all that kind of stuff. That's all happening tomorrow. But at the same time, I'm also got my grade 9 who are trying to design surveys for grades 6 to 9, and then they're going to create their own chatbots to then teach kids about digital citizenship through the chatbot and also the games that are going to AI vibe code. So there's two things that I've got competing interests. So if I can, the intention today is if I can create a chatbot for grade 9 to like model for them, like all about digital citizenship and how it interacts and the questions it can do, that would be sweet. And two, if I get stuck on a rabbit hole going down that, I will try to finish the AI readiness assessment that I'm designing for my leadership team so they can complete that by tomorrow. So then I've got a bench line of like data. So then I can create the interactives that need to happen to present to the board. So that's my sort of thinking of where I would like to go today. Happy for you guys to go next. So Jack or Amy, just what's one intention what would you like to achieve by the end of the day?
Amy, would you like to go first? You're muted.
Good times. So I think my intention for this particular activity is I would like to produce like a basic introduction type lesson for the 2026 syllabus implementation. I think that's when I popped on to obviously this seminar tonight. I've gone, oh, this will be a nice little activity introduced to the students in stage 4, so year 7 or year 8. So I'm going to see where it takes me, but hopefully coming up with some type of activity that introduces them to chatbot.
Cool.
Okay. Mine is much more basic. I was thinking about going down like a line of geography and like teaching kids how to identify different countries by what and how it can support that. I don't really have a big goal other than that.
Yeah, yeah, cool. So I suppose for all of us then we can jump into Flint or any other chatbot. Like the ones I've used in the past is called Poe. Poe, you can't see students off track and you can't collect the data. Mizou is another one. Apparently, you can collect the data and track, but Flint is the one. So that I'll give it a go today. So if you wanted to know, I'll put it in the chat so you go straight there. You can use it up to a certain sort of number. It does hit a paywall eventually, but it's pretty good for because it's literally designed for education. So it's not as you know, not as onerous as some. So yeah, Flint, yeah, you can create an account, you can sign in. I always just sign in with Google because it's just linked. I don't have to remember password words and all that kind of stuff. Um, Yeah. So we can have a look, play around in Flint, but basically it's straightforward. If you think about a chatbot, like before I can even jump in, think about a chatbot, what you're going to need is you're going to need a knowledge bank. So as much documentation, resources, things you want it to reference. That could be previous course material, that could be assessment notifications, that could be diaries if you're doing a historical figure, or it's just think about the things that you want it to use as like facts it's like its brain, basically. So you want a knowledge bank, so whatever resources you've got available. If you don't have many, you just use like Perplexity or ChatGPT or something to generate some and then just export them as a PDF and then you can put them across. The second component you need is that guidelines that I've given you that'll give you your operating ways of working. And then the third is just having the intention of like what age ranges is going to be for how do you want it to respond in the sense of is it single line text? Is it Socratic questioning, meaning it doesn't give students answers, it just asks them questions to clarify their thinking? But there's all sorts of examples and case studies on Flint. So maybe spend a bit of time and have a look at the case studies if you're struggling for some ideas. And yeah, if you've got any questions, just like literally just call out. Happy to go through anything in more specific detail, but I find the best thing to do with this is just to go and play and then start building. So I've just found a fundamental issue with Flint. It's not necessarily a full generator, a full chatbot creator. It's more of an activity builder. So there's a big difference between those two things. Have you guys noticed? It's that it's just requesting. It's saying, "Hey, look, what kind of thing do you want to do?"
Yeah,
So
Mm.
wanting the prompts a lot.
yeah,
It's good,
exactly.
like I didn't know about it, but I'm not sure if, yeah, it's
Yeah.
not aligned to what I think I need.
Yeah, so neither for me. So it's the same. It's the wrong software. Yeah, I'm sure it's got capability in it. I just tested it to try to get it to create a chatbot for this specific research design use, and it simulated one for me, which was good. Uh, but I couldn't customize how it interacts with students. I couldn't customize the amount of text it was giving me, all those kind of things. Jack, did you have any sort of other noticings with what you're up to?
Yeah, it's more so just giving me a bunch of information, but it's not actually designing one or doing anything that I want.
Yeah. So I've got another alternative then, and I have tested this once, and it's called Mizou, Mizou, and this is a actual bot creator. Because I interviewed a guy from China, a guy who's in an international school in China, and he used this to create 22 interactive games with Canva AI after he'd created the chatbot and had interacting with his grade 3 or 4 students. And then he could identify where their fundamental gaps were. And then he basically built apps and games for those specific learning deficits. So I thought Flint did the exact same thing because that's what I was told it did, but clearly it doesn't. So I've just put it in the chat, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so Mizu is your actual bot builder. You choose your grade, you put your plugins in like we talked about before. That's the one I'm going to experiment with for a bit. But if you're noticing anything a bit weird in this one too, let me know, and then we might be able to find some alternative solutions too. You guys having more luck with this one?
A little more, yeah. It's actually discussing it, but it's very basic so far. But it
I've
is
just
working.
got on, I've had the wheel of patience. So
Okay. How's it coming along?
Yeah, pretty good.
So pretty good. Well, we might spend maybe 2 more minutes if you want to start wrapping up what you're looking at, and we'll see yeah what we're finding.
Awesome.
Whenever you're ready, guys, we'll come back.
Great.
Sweet. So yeah, like general thoughts, and then we'll work around and sort of show and tell if we what we got up to, if there's anything to show tell.
I've just been fiddling around with it. I don't think I have anything to show and tell at this stage, or something that I don't want to share because I'm not happy with the final result. So I don't think it's practical at this stage.
Yeah. What were
I
you
think
specifically focusing
ex-
on?
exploring the first one was clunky, and I'm just finding this is taking its time as well.
Hmm. Yeah. Are you still looking at the stage 4
Mm,
kind of links?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's asking like specific scenarios, which is fine, but and I've put it into like the data life of the first year of a student at a high school. Just a little bit, yeah. I've got to refine it a little bit more, I think.
So I found similar. I think it's because I had a poorly, for me, it was I had a poorly defined intention of what I specifically wanted it to do.
Yep.
Because I selected AI generated and let it do its thing, which
Yep.
for me was a bad idea because it was like then I'm trying to like change it and iterate it to fit the mold that I had in my head to begin with.
So get rid of that AI generated thing. Don't hit that next time. Just go with your initial prompt, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think if you created from scratch or custom or whatever the button was,
Yep.
you probably have a better time with it.
Okay, I'll give that a go next. I did get out of the original AI one and started that process. But then I hit the AI creation button again. I was like, no, that's not what I typed. You've completely made it into your own. Just trial
Yeah.
and error, I suppose.
Yeah, well, that's the point,
Yeah,
isn't it? How
I
about
did the same thing
yeah,
a lot
you
of times, but it actually, whenever it would generate an automatic AI one, I would see it. I'm like, oh, before I actually click to generate the AI bot to actually start the process, I could look at the generated AI bit and then just fix it and tweak it up a bit to how I like it and
mhm.
just not click it again. And then it works quite well.
Ah,
There's a bit of jankiness to it, but not much.
yeah. Have you got anything you can show, like any testing with
I've
it?
got a little bit. Share screen. Here we go. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, it's loading in. There we go. Yep.
Awesome. Yeah. So basically, I've got an idea of like this is a geography exploring assistant. So for kids, they're going around the world, just identifying different countries by what they are, like shape-wise. And this AI assistant is basically giving hints of like what is the country's famous for? What does it look like? What is it in relation to? What is it around? And like you can see for this, it's like the introductory page of or sentence what it has. And then you could just say something simple like there's a country that looks like a boot. And then instead of this just saying like, oh, it's Italy, because that happened quite a few times in doing the generated prompts, which was very annoying. It goes around and says, oh, it's very famous for cuisine, pasta, pizza, rich history, amazing landmarks like ruins and beautiful cities in Europe. And if you scroll down a bit, it actually, if you ask, is it Italy? It'll confirm it and say, yep, it is Italy. It's famous for these, it has this. And it goes a bit further. If you say like there's a huge country, obviously there's a bit of a glitch here because it says that sounds like Russia. Instead of just saying, oh, it could be this, it could be that. There's a bit of that's what I don't like. I don't want it to just say what it is.
Hmm.
But for other ones, like Australia's pretty accurate. Same one for this one down here. If you say like something like there are a lot of countries together, it'll refer you to like Europe or the Asian region or the South America. Say it's next to the ocean, gives you more options, and then you can keep narrowing it down. See, something about like a vibrant culture, delicious seafood. If it's named after a food, yes, it is. You can say what kind of food it's named after. It'll give you examples of like peppers and spices, and you can say chili, and yes, it's chili. So it's quite good for narrowing it down for students in a very
Hmm.
friendly manner.
Yeah. What do you think your next step would might be?
Probably creating an actual game, I'd say, and linking it together.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we're using base 44 or
Yeah.
or Claude Code or something.
Yeah, Claude AI was a lot smoother, I found, than Base 44.
Yeah, okay. That's interesting. Yeah. All right, I'll jump in and I'll show what I tried to do. So, so basically, I did something similar. I basically just auto-generated, but all around AI ethics for grade 9 students, just to explore the safety component of it, and then discuss ethical dilemmas, and hopefully students understand it a little bit better, so then they can design their own games later down the track. I took the rules that I gave because this has a very, very small limit, 1,000 characters. So I took that AI guidelines and I put it into Claude, and then I said break it down into 1,000 characters, and it gave me nine responses, and then sorry, nine guidelines. But I added this one. This one was simple, easy, understand sentences under 200 characters. So it'll never respond longer than that. I left the rest. I didn't upload knowledge banks or anything like that because I just didn't have the idea formed. Um, but when we come over to this, it did pretty well. It just said, "What do you want to talk about?" I just said, "Oh, and homework," and just like modeled the conversation. And it started out straight up asking me like, "How do you balance AI and homework?" And then I had to come up with answers, and then it would sort of go down a different track. And I thought this was pretty good because end goal for me would be to grab all this data that the students have used, and then that is the basis of the policies that I'm about to write. And it can identify how they think or what they should do assessments. So like they think, oh, you should just have better assessments if you don't want me to use AI kind of thing. Like, well, how do you design? And it's questioning would you create one? Oh, they could create a project and communicate with that, you know, possibly create an interactive board game. What concepts, deep fake, and then just keeps going down of like, oh, what about guess who? Who faked it? Is it fake or not? Kind of thing. And it just keeps pulling out the ideas of them taking agency over the creation or the use of AI rather than just what is AI. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But I also I play with that. I had a breather because I was getting fed up with it. So I went over and went into my other part, what I wanted to do, which was create an AI assessment leadership. So basically, I created this form and I wanted it to, so if I just, do it, fill it in like it's just like a survey, but it's basically to assess AI readiness for different levels. And I wanted it to give me specific output of like, okay, here's your action plan based on your input. So obviously I'm just like smashing through these. And then what it does is it creates an interactive visual where it'll say, oh, okay, you're actually only ready at all these different levels. You can see the it's assessed based on the criteria I've given it. But I also wanted to have a downloadable report. So then I could open it up and this is the downloadable report to say, hey, look, this is what your overall arching readiness score is for your department. And now here's your priority action list that you need to do for the next 30 days, 3 months, 6 months, and so on. And then, a full AI roadmap for the next 18 months. So it's like one of the things I've been requested to do is create an AI policy, but the school is whole school, so it's got K to 12, and there's two divisional principals, and we've got different ideas. So it's like, well, I need to understand what their level of readiness is for their divisions, so then we can take that implementation roadmap and then put that into here's some actionable steps for a whole school approach, not just the one. So that, if I go back to the AI for a second, that was version 9 of a very, very long conversation. And that wasn't just today. That wasn't just the last 5 minutes. I've been working on this for like 3 hours, just because I've had this concept in the background for a long time. And I just thought I need to have a readiness assessment done. And it's time tomorrow. I don't know if I'll have this ready for tomorrow though, but at this stage, it's decent. Gives me a little bit. A little bit of
I
what
was
I need.
gonna, I was gonna say that was pretty impressive that you made that in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, no, just the last little bit. I generated the questions 6 months ago, uh, and then reviewed them a few times today over the last few hours. And then the last thing I wanted to do, because I started creating a Google form, and I've got this full Google form, and I was reviewing it, and I'm like, oh, this is just not doing what I want it to be. And then because it's missing that final component of like, here's the next stage steps. So yeah, anyway, that's that's what I got up to. Yeah, sick. So obviously today was a little bit different. We may or may not have got anywhere near our intention. Uh, but I suppose that's the point of, spending time just to figure it out. So next week will be our technically our last session, and you guys are all on holidays as of end of this week. And then I'm not too sure what my timeline is like. But is there anything top of mind that you might want to do for last session? Dive into anything specific?
I'm good with learning about anything, to be honest. I'm still very new to all this, so
Yeah,
learning
cool.
anything is very valuable to me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
sweet.
agree. Anything. Absolutely.
Yeah, unreal. All right. Well, I think my intention next week was to look at how we can, do what we really right at the start. I remember your massive action plan, or your was to design a system to help with, casual cover and things like that. So the week 4, I thought, well, maybe we can, it's a time now. We've got all these different bits of experience of coding and AI and all the rest of it, and prompt generation, is to spend more of the time in the intention phase, and articulate that vision. So then we can take it to create a really robust product requirement document and an MVP, and then go forward with whatever that looks like. So that was what I was thinking, but I know that doesn't apply for everyone. So, um, but yeah, we'll have a think. If there's anything that you're like, hey, look, it'll be cool. I've heard of this cool tech, or I've got this idea, send me a message, and we'll have a look then the next week. And then see what we do after that.
No,
Yeah.
I like that idea. So I might, with a little bit of time next week on Monday or something before we jump onto the session on Tuesday, I might just, as you suggested 2 weeks ago, just pop onto Claude and just talk to it
Mhm.
about what the obviously the idea and the intention is, and see if I can generate something
Yeah. Yeah.
from
Brilliant.
there.
Yeah. Yeah. If even if you use it as a question, but you record, like if you hit record on your screen and you like jump into a Zoom, and then
Yep.
then you can articulate verbally, so you don't have to worry about train of thought for typing, because then you can get the AI to analyze the transcript.
Yeah, cool. Yep. And
Yeah.
that Claude would be best for that, or you reckon just a basic chat GPT?
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
either one
Yeah.
is fine, because they both do voice dictation. So
Hmm.
you can just hit voice, talk at it, but give it the initial context at the start. You're going to ask me a series of questions to clarify my thinking about this, so we can create a really robust context for possible MVP. And that's how we get to that really detailed sort of like level. Um, but yeah, like Jack, you've been doing it. You've been killing it. Last week, I saw your game, which was sick. The 3D game. I thought that was really cool.
It took a while.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that would be an awesome thing for myself, just to dive in and understand your
Yeah.
thinking behind that too.
It was weird how smoothly it worked, like the actual controls too.
Yeah,
I'm amazed by that. Yeah,
yeah. Okay, yeah.
I
Well,
did not expect it to be that smooth.
yeah. Was that Claude, or was that code 44 base 44?
God, I think I started off with like that Claude Chat GPT 4 Pro, whatever it was, and
Yeah,
then I
yeah.
jumped into base 44, and then I jumped into Claude
Right.
AI.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's across
Awesome.
3 different things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Fantastic. All right, guys, I'm gonna not take any more of your time. If there's anything that you think of over the next week, send it in a chat. Now, I understand we don't really have anything sh to showcase, but that's the point of like just spend a bit of time. I'm going to do it in a minute. Reflect on what you took away and what you didn't, because the things that you are experimenting with are the things that will save other people time of like, okay, Flint, it's not a chatbot creator, and this is what I found, or this is what I generated, or share the failures as well as the wins in a community post. And yeah, I'll look forward to seeing you guys next week.
See you next week.
Unreal.
Awesome. Thanks so
Have a good
much,
night, guys.
guys.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Have a good week.
See ya.
You too.